Okay, welcome to my tiny ass room. I thought I'd make a plant tour. I just finished my setup, so now it's ready to present. This is a little apartment room I'm renting. It's about 9 square meters, and I'm trying to make the best of it. And I have like about 20 plants. I haven't lived in this room for like 6 months because I was on an internship, and in that time a lot of my plants died, obviously. So yeah, I just bought a couple new ones and got a generally new setup, so I'll just would like you to look at it and walk through it. So this, I don't know if you can see very well, these are 2 yuccas. I don't know if it's an elephantites or if it's a different one. It might be an elephantites. I've had the mother plant for probably, I don't know, like 10 years or something, and I've just had it as a houseplant and I never did anything with it. And then about a year ago I took some stem cuttings, and as you can see, they're growing quite nicely. Well, when I moved, one of them fell off, this one right here, but they're still growing. And a couple days ago I gave them a way bigger pot. They were crammed in a little tiny pot like this big, and I hope they'll grow nicely this year. So next up is my philodendron. Quite dark in here, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a new leaf it got recently. This leaf got pretty burned and looks pretty ugly, and another leaf fell off, but I hope it'll recover as well. Like, a lot of my plants didn't like the winter, and well, the room I was living in, I had some plants with me and it didn't have very ideal conditions. So this is my pothos vine. Yeah, it looks a bit better now. I also repotted it and I split it. The other part of it is in my bathroom. And yeah, that's what I got going for me. So this is like well, I guess you could say this is like the main growing area. It used to be on my other windowsill, but I switched it around because I think it's a bit more spacey here. There's no desk and no chairs in the way, so let's start over here. This is my big yucca. Well, it's not a cutting, it's like the stem, the original stem, and it has a big scar here. I already cut off the other branch for propagation, and this one I'd like to see if it regrows. I'm pretty sure it will, so we'll see how that goes. This is actually the top of that cutting that I took right here. It has a nice kind of taper to it, as you can tell, and yeah, it hasn't been growing much lately, but it'll probably start growing soon. This is a little, well, forest planting, kind of, if you want to, of Gotham jades. I've had this for probably about a year as well. I just replanted it recently because it just didn't do much and it didn't really root in the old pot, so I don't know if it was wise to repot it, but it just kind of pissed me off to be honest. This is my fairy castle cactus. This is one I had for, I think, about a bit more than half a year. A plant that I always wanted. Took some cuttings of it as well, let them root. I just left them outside for all of my absence, and some of them actually developed roots, so I planted them here. This is very fresh, so it needs probably a couple of weeks to establish. This is my fairy castle cactus, which I'm trying to like bonsai. It actually has like a little stakey thing in there to hold it. Yeah, I got that one for Christmas. What do we got here? There's little tiny jade plants I'm growing from leaf cuttings. It's not in there, but yeah, they're tiny, but they're already a year old or something. Like they very slow growers if you have to get them from leaves. These are my, what are they called? Dioscorea elephantites. Not looking too good, actually, both of them. These are the only ones that germinated, I think. I planted, I don't even remember how many I planted, but yeah, well, they're not looking too hot. I don't think they like the move. They've been outside in the cold for, it's like winter time or like springtime. Don't think they like that too much to be out in the cold. I got some Adenium obesums over here, and I don't know what it is, but like look at this. Look at their meager little trunk. There's something I'm doing wrong, but I don't really know what it is. Maybe I'm not giving them enough water. I don't really know, but they stayed like this for a while now, and they haven't been doing much really. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This is a little ficus. Is it a Benjamina? Yeah, it's a Benjamina, I think. A little cutting. I had a couple other ones, but they all died. So this is the only one that lived. I hope it lives through the move as well. This little thing volunteered itself in a bigger tray I had. I don't actually know what it is. But I planted a lot of seeds recently, well, months ago, and this just grew, and I don't know what it is, but we'll see at some point. This is my Kalanko, which I also up-potted and trimmed a little bit recently. It actually, when after all that neglect, it started flowering actually, so I took the flowers off though. Yeah, so that one seems to be doing fine. This is my absolute prime of my collection. I love this plant to death. It also started developing flowers after I neglected it for 6 months. It's Calesia fragrans. I got it from a friend when it was like this big, and it had a lot of little suckers on it, and I cut them all off. And this is absolutely my favorite plant. It's quite rare to see around here. I've never seen anyone, or I have never seen any nursery even who had it. And yeah, it's called fragrance. The flowers are supposed to smell really nice, but right now it's not quite in flower. It's probably, I'm going on holiday next week, and it's probably gonna flower when I'm on holiday. This one I purchased like a couple days ago. I don't actually know what it is. It didn't say the Latin name, it didn't say any name, it just said like green plant. I think it's some type of Dracaena, but I'm not 100% sure. Like it though. This next one, I also don't know what it is. It looks like kind of an alocasia or something like that, or like a begonia maybe even. But it grows kind of like a vine, like a pothos, and I took a cutting of it from the lady I was living with, without actually asking for her permission. I just took a cutting. Speaking of cuttings, these are all of my Calesia cuttings. Some of them, like when they get a lot of sun, the leaves kind of get like this. It's quite nice. Yeah. And I'll just put them all in a tray, and I'm trying to root as many of them as possible. And I don't know, maybe I'll grow them, maybe I'll even like give them away or sell them or something like that, because it's quite an uncommon plant around where I live. So this is it for the main plant area, I think. Got a couple of cacti. This one I had for a really long time, like since I was a child I had this cactus, and it's, you know, it actually grew quite a bit, but maybe it was like this big when I got it. I don't know, it looks kind of sad, honestly. They all kind of look a bit sad. And I made a cactus planting, but I don't know, it didn't really work out, and it didn't really look nice, and I took that pot that these Calesia are now for it. And yeah, this next one, this is a baobab. I'm not actually sure if it's alive, to be honest. was also very proud of this because I grew it from seed, and they're quite hard to germinate. Like, this is the only one that made it out of like 10 or 15, and they lose all their leaves in the winter. And yeah, but I don't know, it should like develop some buds at some point, and it didn't do that yet. So I don't know if it's actually alive or not, and I don't really want to scratch the bark or anything like that to check. But yeah, it's just a little tiny stick. This is my spider plant. This is like the plant that everybody has, and I have a little pup of it. Also repotted it recently. It was super root bound. I'm applying like bonsai principles to it, even though no one does that. But I don't know. It's kind of, I'm trying to make the roots kind of nice and stuff like that, you know. This is my ponytail palm, recently purchased like a couple days ago. Same day as this one. It's just like a plant that I always wanted to have. I don't know, it always looked very interesting to me. All of my palm trees are not actually palm trees, you know. This is like the yuccas are actually a type of asparagus, and this one is succulent. So they're not actually palm trees, they're just called palm trees. But yeah, and let's go to my area that I just set up like 20 minutes ago. This is kind of my propagation station, if you can tell. Another Yucca elephantypes, and Dracaena marginata, that I also purchased like after I moved in here. I never had a Dracaena marginata before, and I always wanted one, so this is it. Then this is a shit ton of propagations. The water looks really disgusting on these. I need to replace it. These are some mango seeds that I'm trying to germinate. Had some success with that in the future, but I put it outside and it died. I think it got like rained on too much or something. And then I'm doing a lot of avocados as well. I had a really nice avocado plant. It also died. It was very dear to me. And yeah, I'm making some new ones, hopefully. Another Dracaena stem. It's actually two stems. No, it's a yucca, not a Dracaena. I don't need more yuccas actually, but I don't know. I didn't just want to throw it away, so I'll try to root them and like give them away or something. Some Ficus benjamina cuttings I stole from my workplace. Trying to root them. I planted some pomegranate seeds in here, which I just got from a pomegranate that I ate. This is my little sad Ficus benjamina kinky. Not looking very kinky right now. I think it didn't like the move as well. It moved with me, and it's looking pretty sad actually. And then also I tried to bonsai it and prune it, and I don't know if you can see, but I really damaged the bark. I just like messed it up completely here, and I hope it will recover from that. But yeah, it's looking a bit sad, and this is just a mixed tray of like all kinds of random things. There are some Calanco leaves in here. It does not grow at all. It hasn't been growing for a long time, but it has roots, so I'm keeping it. And this is a friend of mine gave me these little seedlings. I don't know. I know what they look like when they grow, but I don't know what they're called. This is a little what is it called? Crashula avata pup that hasn't been doing much. This is a fairy castle pup that hasn't been doing much. I don't know what this is. It just like started growing, and it looks like it's kind of dying, sadly. And then I just had a couple of leftover seeds, and I planted them all in here. So yeah, this is the germination station. And then over here, let me turn on that light. This is a classic beauty plant that everyone should own. It grew a lot while being neglected. Some of it Some of those dirty little plants really like being neglected, you know. And this is another Dracaena. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a type of Dracaena. Had it for a year, didn't grow at all, like nothing, and was actually potted like super deep, like until here or something, and was root bound at the very bottom, so that's why it didn't grow. And hopefully it will grow a bit now. So this is my kingdom of plants. I'm trying to make this tiny little room as much into a jungle as I can. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you very much.